Okay, well, I did an initial unboxing video with these and found out that Velvet's wings have been cut like a parrot's. She's got 3 of her primary flights on each side, trimmed right in line with the coverts of the wing. Now, that is not something that her breeder is inclined to do, and it was not done to these other 2 birds. Those feathers don't break in that location on their own. So I'm furious. I just don't know who to be furious with. Certainly not the people they came from. Also, pardon my messy laundry pile. Velvet is the only purebred here. She is a Valencian Figurita with legitimate show structure and the proper size. This is a tiny, tiny bird, and most of the reason that I wanted this breed was to bring the size down in the birds in our loft. We have found out that a large cock can mount a very small hen, but a small cock cannot mount a large hen very well. Watching them try is hilarious and sad. Velvet, I see your little head. Velvet is very ruffled and upset because I just had to hold her down and hold her wings open so that I could take pictures of the cuts. I know, that wasn't fun. I am otherwise supremely satisfied with these. Their temperament is lovely. Beetle, I'm gonna touch you. Touch that beetle. Like, have y'all ever seen a bird come out of the box okay with me touching it and amenable to being preened? Comfortable being reached for. Not damn one given. Beetle and Satin are both Danzig crosses. Beetle's dad is a Lucerne, which came out really interesting because Beetle structurally I would have sworn was purebred Danzig, except for a few factors. Her flights and tail feathers should be a little bit longer, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch longer. Oh, goodness gracious. Her crest would be a little better defined and higher, high precious, and she would not have these adorable little spats. This is a clean-legged breed. As you can see with Satin, who is a Homer cross Danzig. The Danzig body structure is apparently more strongly heritable than the Homer structure. You can see the elongation. It's just that the Homer covers over the embellishments. Like, you don't see the crest on the Homer cross because that is a recessive gene. Whereas Grouse Muffs, oh hello, oh hello, oh stretchy and fluffy, high precious. Whereas Grouse Muffs are a partial dominant. So when you breed a Grouse Muff bird to a clean-legged bird, you get what are called slippers. And slippers can either cover the leg all the way down to the foot, or they can have some of these very, very small covert feathers go all the way out to the toes. Oh, I know, there's so much ruffling that just happened. Y'all been cramped in the box. Yeah. Hi, that beetle. Unfortunately, you missed them fighting over who get to sit on my head. Brainy. Hi, Satin. Oh, Beetle, I was talking to Satin. These precious peeps have been raised indoors since they were about 2 weeks old each, which means that Beetle has been inside and around people the longest. This very docile temperament makes me think that this is a hen. Not old enough to be able to sex for certain, but going by behavior, this is likely to be a hen. Danzigs are notoriously docile, and so are Lucerne, which makes this like a perfect combination, in my opinion, if you want a docile companion bird. Velvet is just a little bit younger than Beetle. Hi, Beetle. Hi, Beetle. Beetle likes her name. We know she's female because her mom was ash red and her dad was blue. So out of that pair, a hen is all a bluebird can be. Oh. And I believe Satin's parents are both blue. I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, look at that beautiful fan. She inherited more of the Danzig fan than Beetle did. Oh, they're going to visit their uncle.
Oh.
A fight, Muffin. The other children are intrigued. Also a fight, Muffin. Not much of one. She's had a rough morning. Feets. I like feets. This new person hasn't grabbed us and pulled open our wings yet. Screw that first person. We like this one better. Hey, a thing. Where are you going? It's okay, we're not after you. Not till it's time to put you up anyway. And as y'all can see, these are excessively well socialized babies. Like, right out the box. Excessively well socialized. So I'm very, very pleased to add these to my breeding program. Oh no. Almost fluffed yourself right off your uncle's knee. We'll be doing fecals and throat swabs and vaccinations for these later this evening. I don't want that to be their immediate first experience when they get here. Especially not with all the effort their breeder put into socializing and spending time with them. It's like new house is a place of horrors, no! Be careful, Beetle. Beetle's got wonky toes. This Peep. So, aside from it not being necessary to trim the wings on a pigeon this small, and yes, this is basically her adult size, even though she's about 8-10 weeks old. Yeah, this is as big as she's going to get. She is a tiny, tiny bird and will be a tiny, tiny bird until the day she dies. So while a larger bird gone and started some shit, would you help her up? Nope, she helped herself. Okay. So while a larger bird could do some degree of fighting back against the hazing typical of pigeon flocks when you move in. Ooh. Well, I suppose that answers that question. We've got 2 other birds joining our breeding program who are leaving quarantine in a week. But in the meantime, since we have taken in a new rescue, that leaves us short space. So 2 of these are going to have to share one for a little bit. I was originally going to have Beetle and Velvet together, but Beetle's big enough to really hurt Velvet. She's not big enough to do much of anything at all to Satin, aside from annoy her, maybe.
Oh, aren't you a sweet?
Yeah, they're all sweets. They're just also all butts, because pigeon. But, yeah, Velvet being so tiny would have been fine if she were fully flighted and able to get away from bigger birds hazing her. But tiny plus can't fly is potentially overtly dangerous. Like, those aren't going to come back in unless I pluck what's left. And what's left happens to be rooted in the bones of her wing. So, plucking flights sucks at the best of times. It hurts like an absolute bitch. Tail feathers have a release mechanism. They're rooted in flesh. They're not rooted into bone. There's just a chunky little pad of muscle and fat that surrounds their little tailbone, and that's what maneuvers and spreads their tail feathers. It's not attached to their skeleton. Preeny children's. Oh god, Beetle. From this angle, you can't even tell she has a crest. She just has the fuzziest cotton ball head. The peeps like you. The little peeps. No. And the nurses. Look at peeps. Okay, well, peeps have been evaluated. I will be moving them into their quarantine enclosure shortly. Oh my goodness. This evening, we will go ahead and give them their initial vaccines. And we'll do their fecals and their throat swabs. Otherwise, we're just going to be leaving them be to acclimate. So, welcome, precious peeps.